Dear viewers, in order to understand our health, our body, we must know what are the body cells, because every body is made with the help of millions and millions of cells. Cells found in the nature are of two types. One is prokaryotic and second is eukaryotic. Prokaryotic cells do not have nucleus, and mostly it has been found that these cells are in bacteria. Our human body cells are mostly made of eukaryotic cells. These eukaryotic cells have nucleus. Yes, there are some parts in the body that do not have nucleus, such as the red blood cell, nails, hairs, etc. They do not have nucleus. Now, let us understand the different components of the body cells. One of the important component of the body cell is vacuole that stores nutrients and water for survival. Also, this stores waste from the cells. So you can say all the wealth from the nutrients and waste from the cell is stored in this vacuole. What is the second most important thing? Rather, most important is that is mitochondria. This mitochondria converts nutrients into energy that is stored as ATP through aerobic respiration using glucose and oxygen. So from the nutrients they are taking glucose, and through respiration whatever oxygen comes, that helps in converting this glucose into energy. So this mitochondrion basically is to convert into energy. And this mitochondrion we get from our mother. And my mother must have got from her own mother, like that. It is passed on through mother. In this body cells, there is a membrane through which some ions like of hydrogen, oxygen, and sodium, the ions are passed through into the body. Also the nutrients come, though here the help of thyroid hormones is required when nutrients are to come inside the membrane. And the body cells are filled with cytoplasm. In this cytoplasm, different organelles are just floating. A nucleus is inside. In this nuclei forms ribosomes. And these ribosomes, they are producing proteins packaged by the Golgi apparatus. If you see the ribosomes, they are attached with the endoplasmic reticulum. These are all around the nucleus. A nucleus houses the DNA. What is DNA? DNA is the genetic instructions, and that forms the protein in the form of protein. So this protein, rather ribosome that is attached with the rough endoplasmic reticulum, and with the smooth endoplasmic reticulums, some lipid or toxic items that are attached. So in this way you see that nucleus is having DNA, and also they are having different type of proteins they produce, and that is attached with the endoplasmic reticulum. These are packaged by the Golgi apparatus. So these nuclei are divided, and you see in whole day 1010 cells are divided. So if you see in 7 years time, all our cells are replaced by the new cell. When the cells are divided, the old cells get destroyed and new cells start growing. Up here, this lysosome, this plays an important role. What the lysosome contain? Lysosome contain acid hydrolase enzymes, which break down and digest macromolecules, old cell parts, because when this new cells are created, the old cell parts are digested by this lysosome. Microorganisms digest foreign bacteria invading the cell. If there are some foreign bacteria invading cell, that is digested by lysosome. Basically, lysosome acts as a destroyer that gets rid of toxic substances and recycle worn out cell components. So in this way, we can say the lysosome is just like a suicide box, where the old cells are destroyed when the new cells have been developed. In this way, what I have told you, that during 7 years time, our all whole cells, all old cells must have been destroyed, and our body is made of completely, entirely new cells. In human body, there are 200 varieties of cells. Some that of nerve cells, muscle cells, fat cells, bone cells, liver cells. So in this way, there's for different organs, different type variety of cells are there, because some require more this powerhouse mitochondria, some less, and they are varying in their shapes also. So basically, the muscles required different type of cells than the fat or bone, because they have to grow, and growth is possible only with the growth of the cells, and their functions also dependent upon the type of cell that is involved there. Now let us discuss the neuron cells. Neuron cells are also the body cells, but they are mostly involved in our brain, spinal cord, and communication system. So total control of the body is done through neurons, this nervous cell. This is the most important part of our nervous system. Now let us understand what is that neuron. Neuron cell also have the body, like cell body, and here also the just like ordinary cell, ordinary body cells, they are having mitochondria and nucleus, other things in the same way. But additionally, they have a axon, a tail part, through which the message is communicated. Brains, spinal cord, they are full of these nerve cells. rather neurons. So how they pass on this message, communicate the message through this action. In this action, some myelin sheaths are wrapped around C. Myelin sheaths are there. But in between two myelin sheaths, there are nodes of Ranvier. The message is passed on through electrical and chemical system. If you see here, just see at this place, at node of Ranvier, the sodium and potassium ions are coming out and going in. Say sodium ions are coming out. Say 3 sodium ions are coming out in the resting position and 2 potassium ions are going in. Why so? Because sodium ions are having 11 protons, while potassium ions are having 19. So in this way, if you see that 3 ions, 3 protons are coming out, it means this action becomes inside the intrafluid cell, that become negatively charged. And normally it has been found that these are charged with a minus 70 millivolts. Now, when it is stimulated, at that time what happens? This minus 70 goes down to minus 55, and then it remains discharging, depolarized, till it has become plus 34. Again the same cycle is started. So likewise with the sodium and potassium ions, this plays an important part in creating active potentials here. And this message is passed on to the other neuron through dendrites. So dendrites of the tail portion connect to the dendrites of the body cell of the other neuron with the help of synapse. So this, and through synapse, there is some neurotransmitter, chemical compound is there, and also electrical signals are passed on. So in this way, through this chemical messenger, chemical signal, the message is transferred to the other neuron. In this way, whatever instructions are coming from the brain, that is passed on up to the last body cell of the body. Same way, whatever is sensed by the body, that is passed on through the synapses to the brain, and brain is processed. So if you say we are having sensory neurons, we are having motor neurons, we are having interneurons. What is sensory neurons? It means from body tissue to central nervous system. As you can say sometimes as a Jnanendriya. Other, whatever instructions our brain is to give to the different body organs, that is passed on through motor neuron. That is from central nervous system to body muscles and glands. If some hormones are released, that also the instruction comes from motor neurons only. Now then, what is this interneuron? Interneuron is in the brain's internal communication system between the sensory input and motor input. So inside the brain, the interneurons acts so that whatever has been sensed by the sensory input, that is passed on to the motor output. So in this way, these neurons are very important. Sometimes you see the reflex action. It's while driving the cycle or motorcycle, you are seeing that things comes automatically. But this reflex action, how it happens, is spontaneous, involuntary muscular response. How this comes in? This is sensory, interneuron, and motor. This combination helps in creating the reflex action. And how our thoughts are created? Our thoughts are created through neurons in frontal cortex. All our thoughts are created like that, and these are passed on to the different body organs with the help of neurons or neurotransmitter communication. Just to see our brain cells, they die out. How? By losing sleep, smoking, dehydration, by stress, through narcotics. Alcohol also damages the dendrites. The sodas, they raise the dementia or stroke. So we should try, in order to be healthy and conscious at the old age also, then we must avoid all these things. We should sleep properly. We should not have stress. So should leave smoking, etc. It should be in our mind. Always we should keep in mind that no new neurons possible. So what we can do? We can improve our synaptic connections. So whatever connections in dendrites, they are not useful, we can ignore. But more synaptic connections can be created. Neurons cannot be created, but through different dendrites, we can have these synaptic connections. Or in this way, our mental power can be improved upon. So just if you see how whatever stimulus is there in one part of the body, and that is passed on through this stimulus, is passed on through nerve impulse to the brain, and there it is processed. In this way, whole process goes on. I feel that everybody must have understood how our different cells and neurons are working, and we will take advantage of it. Thank you.